Hi everyone, how are you? In this video, I'm gonna answer a question that I get every once in a while on my apps, and that is, for people who wants to start like local groups or hobby groups, that are, it's not intended to be a business, or maybe just intended to be like a small source of income. But very often people ask like, how do I have a hobby, how do I create a group around it, or I have I want to do some local events that are it's not meant to be big, but I do want to get it going, and I want to find like-minded people. How do I do that? So in this video, I'm going to explain how you can promote your local, like little activity group or hobby group or series of local events, which is all kind of that group probably does some events. So and one really great resource that's really probably is going to be extremely effective is something called a website called meetup.com. It's at meetup.com, and I'll have a link to it in the description of this video on YouTube. And meetup.com, if you know about meetup.com, this advice seems basic because you already know about it, but if you don't know about it, it's the #1 website where people with different hobbies kind of come together and figure out, they just come together for events, like the organizer sort of organizes it, and then because has so many people on it, that website meetup.com has so many people on it, people just kind of join, people see that group because many people on it are searching for the same thing that your group might be, right? So, and there's like different kinds of groups. There's groups for technology, there's groups for literature, there's groups for like religions, there's groups for like political stuff, for sports, you name it, it's there. Like dog lovers, whatever, So, meetup.com. The other thing you want to do is you do want to be active in your community, because if you keep talking to people around you, they're gonna say, I know someone who has this interest, I might connect you, or oh yeah, I'm interested in that myself, and they might connect you. So there's a lot of face-to-face networking and word of mouth that may be marketing that may be effective in this case, because it's local, it's hobby based, right? It's people who you're already talking to might have already the same interests. So you gotta get those guys, and then you gotta use their networks, because their networks might be very relevant for this kind of a business, this kind of a situation. And of course, that's offline, but you can also use this methodology online, right? On your Facebook, on Twitter, that you may get a little bit of extra people from those type of social networks. Now, you also want to set up your own website, and it doesn't have to be difficult. You can just have a blog. The important part is that the blog will give you a presence on Google. So if you have like a language study group, if you want to start a group who's studying French language, and when people in your city, let's say you live in Boston, people in your city are searching for like French learning groups in Boston, your site might end up ranking in Google, because there's not that many groups in Boston who are ranking for learning French. So your site has a very high chance of ranking on the first page of Google, and your site might get discovered that way very easily. Because Google is like the biggest search platform, right? When people need something, that's where they go. And so you want to have a presence there. You want to give yourself a chance to be present there. And to start a blog is extremely cheap. It actually can be free. You just have to buy your domain name. I mean, that's like $7. And you may or may not buy your hosting. And hosting is a couple dollars a month. And actually and I'll link to a tutorial that I created for my app users on how to set up your blog in like under a day. So there's no excuse. I mean, it's really simple and it's really cheap. And by the way, meetup.com is not free. It's I think it's $12 a month. So it's also not free, but it's really cheap also. So that's pretty much the options. For cheap options, for free options, you can do the word of mouth networking, business card networking, that kind of thing. It's not going to work that well because there's no scale to it. It's not going to scale, right? So to get a bigger reach, and to get a full reach, you really need to be on Meetup and Google, because you'll always, even though if you'll do word of mouth marketing, you'll always be missing those two big components, and you don't want to be missing them, because especially it's really cheap. I mean, altogether, like per year, you're going to be paying like $100 for all of that. So it might be worthwhile, and even the group members might even chip in, because usually what happens is the person who organizes the group, they may charge like $1 or $2 or $5 for attending or something, and then they actually make a profit from that group. So you can charge for people who are attending, and then you can actually make a profit. So don't worry about this. Don't worry about paying those little fees, because you probably actually will end up making money in the long run if you do this. So anyway, that's how you create a small group, or that's how you kind of run a hobby group or a local activity group. And of course, be active in your very community. Like if you have a church group or something, make sure that that group gets announced. Somehow you get an announcement from whoever's speaking on some time, right? So be active in that community and get existing local communities around that topic to sort of also promote you, because their audience is your audience as well. So their members might become your members. So those are the techniques to really grow your local hobby group or activity group, like locally. And that's it. I hope that was insightful, and actually I'd be curious to hear about success of using my suggestions. Please just if you try these, and let me know what happens. Let me know how it goes for you, and you can comment right in the video below, and I see all the comments, and I'll respond, and that'll be fun. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel, and of course, please check out my mobile apps, which they cover business ideas, business planning, marketing, and fundraising, and they're available on iOS, Android, Kindle, and if you search for Problemio in any of them, or if you just go to problemio.com, you'll see the apps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.